Hey everyone, my name is Tom Davis. I am the marketing manager of the SSSF, and today we are in sunny Florida? No, rainy Florida. We are in Gainesville, Florida for the SCTP International team, sponsored by Winchester. It is their second training camp of the year. First training camp was back in November. They were working on a lot of sports science, the details of how vision comes into play with high caliber sports of international skeet and bunker trap. Today we are at Gator Skeet and Trap, Gainesville, Florida. They're working with a couple coaches from the Army Marksmanship Unit, and today was kind of a wrap up. They're doing their last 50 targets, and today was really a lot of classroom work, talking about managing their mental game for some of these larger shoots and selection matches that they got coming up. So about to fire back up, let's head to the range.
Oh.
And at this training camp today, we have wonderful coaches. One of them is Mr. Will Hinton. He is part of the Army Marksmanship Unit. Will, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us what we are working on for this training camp.
All right, so hello everybody. I am Will Hinton. We are in an SCTP shooting camp in Gainesville at Gator Skeet and Trap. So basically, this is about bringing, up-and-coming SCTP national team members who are trying to pursue the next level. So myself and I actually have a coworker there with the Army Marksmanship Unit, Dustin Taylor, and we're here basically, teaching these kids fundamentals, but more importantly, like what it takes to get to the next level. So we're talking about competitor's mentality, what it takes to win, and really understanding what your shooting game is, how to perfect it, how to critique it, how to improve it to become ultimately a winner, and more importantly, repeat that.
So have there been any light bulbs go off? Have you noticed with athletes?
There have. So a lot of young shooters, they actually will shoot and not realize that they're doing something wrong or right. They're just breaking targets. So once you actually explain to them, there is a right and a wrong way to break targets. Well, then once they learn that, then they can understand what they need to be doing correct every time, and they break more targets. So I think there's a ton of talent here. We've seen a lot of light bulbs go off, and then we have a classroom portion, of course. And seeing them interact with each other, a little timid at first, but then once kind of the barriers get down, they really talk about and get involved in how they feel when they're competing, how to deal with pressure, pre-shot routine. So it's good information.
One of the beautiful things I saw is when you're telling them, although I am up at this elite level, you guys can break the same targets I can. It's just unlocking that mental game.
Right, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. And me and Dustin, we try to drive home to these kids is when we're shooting, it's not that we have a secret or, there's a secret weapon, we know more than them. It's not that at all. We actually do the identical moves as them, but we just do the correct move more often than not because we have experience and we understand our game so well that we can implement the right thing over and over and over. You know, these kids, they break this, like you said, the same targets as us, and once we let them understand that, then it's up to them to just basically be disciplined enough to do that and do the right thing over and over.
We appreciate you contributing your time and your expertise.
No, absolutely.
You know, these kids are going to take a lot from this, and we're so thrilled to, have you guys put on the second camp for them, the training camp here in Gainesville, Florida. The weather is
a little chilly out here.
Yeah, it's kind of cold.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming down from Fort Benning and lending all of your wisdom to these kids.
No, absolutely. I have been in their position, so I understand what it's like. So
when did you start shooting?
I actually started shooting in 2007, 2008. I was shooting in 2007. I shot my first competition in 2008. So I've been at it for a while.
Yeah. So you have a lot to.
Yeah, I'm rolling on about 15 years.
A lot of experience.
Sporting clay shooter, and then switched to international trap.
Well, I love that in the classroom portion, Will really harped on, would you say, the philosophy behind the mental game,
Correct.
Right? Getting the barriers out of the way that you as an athlete might be holding yourself back from reaching the next level.
Right.
And you really went into detail, like info is power, right? So, some of these kids are really now logging every session to get as much information to analyze and find patterns on how to increase their game.
Right. So just going out there and shooting, there's and that's what I've drove home to these kids. Like, you want to be a winner. We have to basically start thinking like a winner. Keep up with your shooting. Realize, what are challenges and flaws in your game that you can identify and improve on. Okay. Well, now you're taking kind of a systematic approach to getting better versus just going out there and letting it rip one day at a time. You're tracking how you're doing as an athlete and you're trending upward. That's what we want to see. But it takes a certain mindset to evaluate yourself to do that.
Yeah, he asked for goals, like what kind of goals they had, and some of them were pretty generic. So then you responded to them with a very specific version of what that goal might look like.
Right, exactly. A lot of kids, and it is a good thing, but they're always success or score related. I want to shoot X amount of targets out of this many, or I don't want a podium. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And those are good goals, but those are an outcome. Those are a byproduct of something you have to do to get there.
Right.
So why would I not make my primary goal around what I have to do to get that? Because if you're stuck in the process and doing it flawlessly, the product comes on its own.
Right. And if you're interested in shooting the international disciplines, at Nationals we host the international part of Nationals on the front end, and that's actually where the SCTP international team is selected. The best of the best shoot off in the finals to see who earns those spots on the international team. These athletes get to travel all over the U.S. at different training camps and selection matches. The SCTP is actually the official youth feeder program for Team USA. So if you have Olympic dreams, the SCTP is the place to be. And we want to thank Winchester for being the official ammunition of the SCTP international team. And if you're looking for another way to get news from the SCTP or SASP, look for the SSSF Range Time podcast. We host a podcast every month, catch everyone up on news that's pertinent to the SCTP and SASP programs, and we bring in guests every month that you just can't get anywhere else. Go ahead and search for the SSF Range Time podcast on your favorite podcast streaming platform. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. Oh, if you like this video blog format, go ahead and comment down below. Think about bringing these to you from Nationals in July as a way to give daily updates at each event at Nationals.